Plus, could the raging Australia wildfires impact the ag economy here in the U.S.?
And 4th of July fireworks could make a comeback at Mount Rushmore, but some worry about the environmental cost. The details are first on Fox Tonight. President Donald Trump announcing today plans to host Independence Day fireworks at Mount Rushmore this year. Good evening. I'm Steve Long.
And I'm Joey Lin. President Trump even hinted that he might attend in person. The Australia bushfires have killed dozens of people and countless animals, affecting not only the country, but the world. Alexis Davila finds out how the fires are impacting the global food supply. Alexis?
Outside today, another bone-chillingly cold day, but we did have plenty of sunshine.
Yeah, the sunshine was nice, but hopefully we get some warm air coming back. Let's check in with meteorologist David Stradling to find out.
There may have been a sound heard around the area, and that sound was chattering teeth. It was very cold today. Temperatures.
Thank you, David. The first flu-related deaths in South Dakota were reported earlier this week. So if you haven't received your annual flu shot, providers are saying now is a good time to get one. Influenza activity has been increasing in South Dakota. It is now considered, quote, widespread. On Tuesday, the South Dakota Health Alert Network reported the first flu-related deaths in South Dakota. And as of today, that number has climbed to 3. There have been 59 hospitalizations so far and more than 1,500 lab-confirmed cases in the state. Experts are saying influenza activity has not yet peaked. They foresee a few more weeks of high transmission in South Dakota, reminding citizens that the flu can be unpredictable. So the time to get your flu shot is now.
I would hope this would be something that people take note of and realize that influenza is a serious disease that we really do have to take serious every year, and that would, hopefully promote getting vaccinated on a yearly basis for influenza, because it really does make a difference.
White said pregnant women, children younger than 5 years old, and people over the age of 65 are at the highest risk. Each year in South Dakota, an average of 46 flu-related deaths are reported. Still ahead tonight on Black Hills Fox News at 9. Every artist is different. Every artist has their own perspective.
Tonight, we go along the way with a homeless artist who's traveled around the world, but these days he's living here in Rapid City. His story still ahead on Black Hills Fox News at 9.
We'll take a first-hand look touring a torched town with one of its former residents in tonight's Fox Files later in the hour. Rapid City Regional Airport was breaking records all last year. The number of outgoing passengers at the airport in 2019 just came in, and that number was up more than 40,000 from the previous year, a 12% increase. In 2019, the airport added new non-stop flights, increasing the number of passengers. The executive director of the Rapid City Regional Airport, Patrick Dame, says they want to keep that growth going.
And we hope for continued growth, the potential add for more nonstop destinations to major hubs. Those are all things that we continue to work towards into the future.
The airport saw more than 350,000 passengers last year, and they hope to surpass that number in 2020.
Sometimes the beauty of a painting goes far beyond the paint itself. For example, one Rapid City artist has lived in many places, but for many years has had no home at all. He was born far, far away, and that is what's reflected in his art, along the way in downtown Rapid City. Life is often about perspective. It is the colors through which we see the world. To understand the art, we must first understand the artist.
I struggle with depression and then now kind of some health things that pinch nerve and things. It's just become really hard to keep up at the pace to be able to rent a place.
Joel Bennett was born in South Africa, but is an American citizen. It is a long way from South Africa to this bus bench in Rapid City with many stops in between.
One of the places I went to when I was a kid was Brazil, and I love the Amazon, I love the jungle, the people there.
He's spent a little more than half his life in the U.S. and the rest overseas. Joel is a self-taught artist.
I think it was about 8 or 9 years ago I started, and then I've had some gaps with homelessness and survival times.
He says he's been homeless on and off since about 2005, partially by choice, but this time of year it's just too doggone cold to sleep outside.
I don't know how people stay under bridges and stuff. I know I couldn't.
When we first met Joel, he was staying at the shelter.
This is my first attempt at like an underwater scene, so I'm kind of learning as I go.
But soon after, had enough money to rent a hotel room. In South Africa, he says his dad worked for a church-related organization training interns to get involved in bridge-building encounters, camps aimed at bringing different people groups together.
And they bring together people who had never really mixed together, people from black townships, Indian townships, white people from, suburbs or whatever, and put them all together.
Which helps explain the type of art he hopes his brush creates.
I kind of like to do culturally ambiguous people, like you can't really tell, are they African, Chinese, Native American, very dark Caucasian. Like, I like it to be ambiguous so that people see beauty in everybody.
He spent about 7 years in South Africa, 10 years in England, and in recent years, here in the States, he's moved a lot too.
I like a ping pong ball. Mostly here in the U.S. the last 10 years or so. Washington, California, Idaho.
For a man well-traveled, there is a permanence of sorts portrayed in painting.
Eventually a canvas will fall apart and the paint will flake off and end up in the dumpster. But it kind of gives just something solid. It gives me a point of reference in life.
He had prints of his paintings for sale at the Hope Center's Art for Hope event back in November and has sold more prints since then, hoping someday painting can be his main source of income.
One day, I hope to get to that level where, I got a painting, $500, but, I'm not quite there yet.
Still, painting, he says, is a good escape.
I find a lot of freedom and I'm not worrying about everything when I'm painting. And
for this man who has seen so much, traveled so far, his art, he hopes, sends a simple message.
Other cultures are beautiful and other people are beautiful. And
because life is often about perspective. He is still living in a motel, but hoping to move into low-income housing. His dream is to someday move back to South Africa. If you're interested in purchasing a print of one of Joel's paintings, they're available at the Hope Center downtown. And if you've met someone cool along the way, please call or email us to let us know.
So Steve, what struck you the most about Joel?
I think sometimes it can be easy to have preconceived notions about homeless people, but Joel is a prime example that every person is an individual. He's lived in South Africa, London. He has a pinched nerve in his back right now, but he's working a temporary job. He's painting and trying to make a better life for himself. And in the end, I think that's really what we're all doing. And we wish Joel the very best. Coming up, teenage vaping continues to rise in popularity. What parents need to know?
And the School of Mines hopes to bridge their campus to downtown Rapid City with a new proposed park. That story is after the break. David? Well, thank you, David. A group of South Dakota School of Mines and Technology students have proposed a park and bridge that would connect the Rapid Creek bike path with the campus. The bike path is within 400 feet of the campus, but there are 4 lanes of traffic, and the railroad tracks and the creek create an obstacle. A group of engineering students at the School of Mines were approached by Elevate Rapid City to beautify and expand the green space across from campus and near Rapid Creek bike path. The proposed plan would add a park, improve the street, sidewalk, and pedestrian bridge in order to tie it to the campus. Some of the proposed amenities could include pedestrian bridges and crossings, a park area, basketball, tennis courts, a picnic area, a dog park, an ice rink, benches, gazebo, and additional parking. The design was done entirely by the group of students as part of their senior design plan.
I think it'll be a great way to really tie the community together. There's a community garden down there that would be cool if students could have access to. Tying into the bike path, that's such a great recreational opportunity, and just to have that additional crossing would be great for the students. And then there aren't really too many recreational opportunities specifically in this area of town.
The group believes Phase 1 would cost about $590,000.
And we'll be right back after the break.
A bill was introduced in South Dakota House yesterday that could potentially make nursing homes and other assisted living centers safer. Our Anderly Penwell has the details. And we'll be right back with your travel weather. Preserving the past while preparing for the future, the Deadwood community is working to enhance their historic district with a master plan for Main Street. Our Sunday Miller has more on the future changes. Coming up after the break, the Rapid City Christian boys basketball team is off to a nice start to the season, and the Comets are looking for more. And the Rapid City Rush look to close out their first half home schedule in style tonight. Those stories and more when we come back with Black Hills Fox Sports.
Over the Wolves.
Don't like that. Do like the 8-2 Rush win, though.
Yeah, that's a big win. 8 different players score. Obviously spread it around really well. That's a great win for them heading into the All-Star break.
Absolutely. Final weather when we come back. From Hyrule to the Mushroom Kingdom, Nintendo's new theme park wants visitors to level up. Plus, her name is Eilish, Billie Eilish.
And Black Widow finally carves out her own corner of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. David Daniel has more in tonight's Hollywood Minute.
David Stradling was talking about Super Nintendo World and how you might be attracted to head over that way.
It's me, Mario. I grew up on Mario Kart, Mario Party, all that, Super Mario.
Big fan.
Those are fun, yes.
You can be our Super Nintendo World correspondent.
Perfect. Sign me up.
Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.